Am I recording? Yeah, I'm recording. What's up, you miscreants, you misfits, you outcast of society? I'm not sure if you missed me, but I sure as heck missed you. I missed doing interviews with ex-cons and skaters and punk rockers and free thinkers, individuals. I missed that. You know, I've been on a journey here. You're probably wondering where I've been. Well, let's just say I've been on a journey of growth, self-discovery, and let's face it, I had to get back to hitting the books like never before. But fear not, I'm back, baby. And this time, I'm bringing a whole new perspective to the table.
Why are you rebelling again?
What do you got?
We're trying to change something.
Skateboarding is a way of learning how to redefine the world around you.
The owners of this country don't care about the poor and young.
Now, baby, push me. Push me again now.
Screaming out a wall.
You see, life has a funny way of throwing curveballs at you. I'm not a big baseball guy, but we'll use that analogy. Just when I thought I had it all figured out, bam, the universe decided to shake things up a bit, like it always does, right? I went through a crazy depression. It lasted about like 2 months. Trauma came back up. No matter how much time that I've been out, if you're not staying focused, that old stuff can come back up. It can have an impact on you. I came out of that with a new passion, a new focus, and I decided to go back to college to pursue my degree in clinical psychology. Why? I figured it was time to put my experience to good use. Now, I know what you're thinking, but wait, isn't this supposed to be a podcast where I just interview people that are ex-cons or skaters or punk rockers? Yeah, we're going to maintain that. I'm going to maintain that for sure. But here's the thing. Sometimes you got to take a step back in order to move forward. Hopefully it's not 3 steps back to move 1 step forward. Let me tell you, folks, this journey has been nothing short of eye-opening for me. I've been studying sociology, delving into the intricacies of the human mind and behavior, and unpacking the psychological impact of incarceration. It's been a whirlwind of emotions, to say the least. But through it all, one thing has remained crystal clear: the power of resilience, redemption, and second chances. So here I am, back in the saddle, ready to breathe new life into our little corner of the internet. But this time, we're taking a deep dive into the human psyche, exploring intersections of sociology and psychology, and shining light on the untold stories of those who walked the path of redemption. From the complexities of reintegration into society to the stigmatization of formerly incarcerated individuals, we're tackling it all, one episode at a time. Because let's face it, change doesn't happen overnight. But with a little bit of empathy, understanding, and a whole lot of heart, anything's possible. So buckle up, fam, because we're about to embark on a whole new journey. It's a familiar journey, but it's a new journey, unlike any other. And who knows, maybe along the way, we'll learn a thing or two about ourselves, our communities, and the power of second chances. Thanks for sticking with me through thick and thin. Now let's make some magic happen. So when I initially got out, there was no resources whatsoever, right? I'm not going to say that I did everything on my own. When you hear people say that, be weary of those people that said they made it to where they are without anybody. They were self-made. Nobody's self-made. There's always individuals along your path that are going to assist you and help you in the direction that you want to get. So just remember that when you get to the point where you're at, all right? With that being said, there was not a lot of resources when I got out. There was virtually none, to be honest with you, right? Now there's an abundance of resources. When I applied back for college, so my first day back into college after film school some time ago, graduated film school when I got out. And that was another thing. I always felt like an outcast when I was in college. Always felt alienated. I felt like a fraud. I felt like I didn't belong there. I looked at everybody as like people in a position they belong there and I didn't belong there, right? And so I struggled with that like pretty heavy. And in fact, I started to go to therapy because of that reason when I was in college, right? So flash forward some years later, I'm back on the college campus. I'm going to PCC here in Pasadena so I can transfer for my undergraduate. First day, I meet someone in the admissions office. They have a CORE shirt on. Acronym. It was a Community Overcoming Recidivism Through Education, right? And I was like, oh, that's an interesting shirt. And she's like, oh, the office is right across the hall right there. It's an organization on campus to help justice impacted people. And I was blown away that there was a service like this on campus. So I went in, I'm going to name drop the names, but I met a guy named Adolfo, Rudy. Everybody was so welcoming inside their office. Told me if I needed anything, have you done this? Have you done that? They were just willing and they were just ready to help me out because I had been formerly incarcerated. And I was, to be honest with you, I was blown away by the energy and the openness, right? Because like I said, when I first got out, there was no programs like that. There was a lot of stigma attached to people that had been incarcerated, right? So this was a completely different experience for me. I think somebody offered me top ramen or something, and I told them, good, I left that behind. I left that in the state. I've connected with them. They've been a great resource for me. They've helped me out in so many different aspects. And now I'm helping out ARC, which is Anti-Recidivism Coalition. And I've gotten to the point, right, if you follow this podcast, it's going beyond just being creative, right? Like I found that to be valuable for me up to a point. But now for me, it's about giving back and being connected to the community of people that have been impacted by the justice system. Really, these are lessons that go beyond just being incarcerated. But there's something that I have to throw out there that has been amazing for me in the last 3 weeks. Joining ARC to become a member, you have to go through all these classes, group classes. You have to do all these things, right? And one of the classes that I've had to take for the last week was a workshop for career readiness. And it's a group about eight people in the group. Majority of the guys have just gotten out, and there's a couple of gals. Majority of the guys that have gotten out have done 20 plus years, and they're just getting out. And I hadn't felt this feeling since I had been out, where I felt rejuvenated. I felt a purpose. I felt connected to these guys that have just got out. There's something about the connection that was overwhelming for me to process everything that was going on. And it really just reinstated why I wanted to go back to school in the first place, and that's to study clinical psychology, was to help people that have been impacted. But to be back in this space again and to actually help them out it's where I need to be. And that's what this channel is going to be more geared towards. Interviews, but also we're going to dig a little bit deeper, and we're going to wrap up this episode of Screaming at a Wall podcast. I'm your host, Kasper. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't checked out our previous interviews or some of our videos, make sure to go check those out. On our next episode, I'm going to be diving into expungements, which is something I'm actually going through right now. So I'll give a little bit of insights into that. Super important if you've been justice impacted, if you've done time, you've been out for a minute, you want to clean your record, you want a clean slate totally, or if you just want to have a spiritual cleansing and just get rid of the past, it's one way of doing that. All right. So make sure that you look out for that episode. That'll be out shortly. And I want to give a big shout out to all the people that reached out to me asking when we're going to do more episodes. They're coming. I just want to say that sometimes life happens. It gets in the way, but don't let it get in the way so much that you don't get back up and pursue the things that you want to do. A lot of that mentality is going to have to come when you're trying to stay out and be free. All right. It's a lot of work, but there's a lot of resources. And hopefully this channel will become a resource for you to better your life, whether you're justice impacted or not. Until next time, stay free. That was mine. I'm just saying, Russell Brand stole that from me. I have documentation of that. Peace.
What are you rebelling against?
What do you got?
We were trying to change something.
Skateboarding is a way of learning how to redefine the world around you.
The owners of this country don't care about the poor and